Thank you so much for being here. Welcome to our cooking experience. Today I am going to cook the Korean pork and rice salad with the Thermomix, and I will be using the Meter Plus, which I will let you know a little bit more about that when we get started. So I know that Linda has a TM6. Do you other ladies have a TM6 already? Let me know in the chat box and Shane can let me know. Anyway, but the whole idea of our cooking experience, it's going to be probably less than an hour today, and it just gives you a really good look at the TM6. We'll give you some hints and tips for those who've already got a TM6 and shows you some of the features for those who haven't got a TM6 yet. So we are the ThermoFans team of Thermomix consultants on the north coast of New South Wales, and you'll be watching this recording or you've been invited to come along because someone in our lovely team ThermoFans has invited you. So your consultant who invited you will be in contact with you after the demonstration as well. So before we get into the nitty gritty, let me tell you what you get when you get a Thermomix. Thank you, Shane. So everything that I use today, besides the Meter Plus, you will receive when you get your Thermomix. The price for the Thermomix is $2,269. At the moment, we have an amazing deal with 24 months interest free, which is $23.69 a week, which makes it even more affordable. We also have a special for January, which is a free carry bag and the free barbecue cookbook. And it just so happens that the recipe I'm cooking today is actually out of the barbecue cookbook. So if you think that you might be interested in taking your Thermomix camping or traveling with it, then the carry bag is perfect for you as well. And the barbecue cookbook, which I've got beside me there, is a great Thermomix cookbook. And like you'll see in the recipe that I'm doing today, it shows that the Thermomix doesn't have to do all the work. So it can be, like it's going to be today, it's going to be boiling rice, it's going to be chopping vegetables and stuff like that, while your oven's cooking your meat. So your Thermomix can work well with your barbecue or your oven. So yeah, so without further ado, we might get into it. So I've actually told the Thermomix, if you want to come to the screen for me, Shane, I've actually told the Thermomix what we're cooking today. So I'll explain a little bit later in the presentation about cookie do, but I've actually told the Thermomix that today we're going to be having the Korean barbecue pork with rice salad, and I'm just going to click it. Inbuilt in my Thermomix via the cookie do. I'm just going to hit start cooking. Obviously I've prepped my ingredients ready to go, and how I've done that is I've just pressed the down, and obviously all my ingredients are here. So if you're one of those people that likes to prep your ingredients first, you can easily do that with the Thermomix as well. So I'm just going to hit start cooking, and it tells me preheat my oven. I've already done that, thank you very much. And now it just wants us to place a bowl on the mixing bowl. I got a little bit confused with this step the first time I seen it. We're going to put a little bit of water in with a little bit of corn flour. So obviously that is going to thicken our sauce in a minute. That'll do. And it then tells me to add some corn flour to that, which I've already done, and give that a stir and set aside. So that's what I'm going to do there. We've just got a couple of other lovely ladies. Did I see Janelle jump on? Hi Janelle. Janelle's one of our beautiful Thermomix consultants up in Casino in New South Wales. There we go. So we've stirred our corn flour, and now we're ready to make our marinade. So the first thing we're going to do is chuck in some garlic. So I'm just literally reading the instructions as we go. A long red chili, seeds taken out. Hopefully this is my dinner for the next, this is what I'll be eating for the next couple of days. So hopefully one red chili is not too chilly. You can never tell. Sometimes it is too much, and sometimes it's not quite enough. I didn't have any fresh ginger, so I've just used some jarred ginger because there was no fresh ginger. and some soy sauce. So you can see how easy it is just to be following your nose with the recipe. You don't have to have your recipe book out, getting dirty either, which is what I like. Rice wine vinegar. Oops, it comes out quicker than soy sauce, it seems. And some brown sugar, which I've already weighed. So this is just our, like I said, our marinade for our pork. And a little bit of water. As you can see, it doesn't matter if you're not exact with these things. The Thermomix actually weighs in 1 gram increments, so it's very precise even if you get close. Okay, so that's given that a really good beat up. We're going to scrape down the sides. When it says scrape down the sides, for those who've got a Thermomix, don't forget the lid, because often there is obviously stuff on the lid that you want to get as well. So when it says scrape down the sides, it really just means to get everything back into that main bowl. And then we're going to give it another... Oh, and then we're going to cook it, of course. There we go. So now we're just going to heat that up for 2 minutes. So basically it just starts cooking that marinade, and then we're going to put our corn flour. Make sure you keep stirring your corn flour too, otherwise it settles. We're going to keep stirring that and see how we go. Now let's see who we've got. We've got 2 minutes to chat. So have we got anything in the chat box, Shane? Melinda's got a TM6 and a meter. Melinda, I'd love to hear what you've made so far with your meter, or what you've cooked with your meter and how that's going. And what did you say about Katrina? Sorry, Shane? She does not have one yet. Okay, lovely. I reckon that's enough. Look, it's nice and hot. I know it's hot. Rightio. Don't try this at home. Make sure you always give it the amount of time it asks for, okay? Don't do as I do, do as I say. Rightio. I've put in the corn flour, and then I'm going to actually pop that on for another couple of minutes, 3 minutes. And that's going to really thicken up with that corn flour and water mixture in there. So has Melinda told me what she's made in her Thermomix and her meter yet, Shane? Yes. What has she done? Corn meat. Oh, do you know, that's one of the things that I forget how good the Thermomix does is the corn meat, and the white sauce and the bits and pieces to go with it are so good. I need to put that on my list of things to make because I forget. What else? Justine. Oh, welcome Justine. What else has Melinda made? She's expressing that and how impressed how well it works. Oh, very good. Did you use your meter for the corn meat? Because that's another thing. I've only done the corn meat just in the old way before we had the meter. So interested to know what which recipe you used and how you did that. Well, let me tell you, Linda, in the next 1.5 minutes. So the Meter Plus is a digital thermometer, okay, a digital meat thermometer. So it's wireless. So you might have, in the past, you might have like a probe that you have to get your meat out of the oven and stick a probe in to see if it's up to temperature. Whereas the Meter Plus, it actually, and you'll see when I put it into the pork fillet, it actually goes into the pork fillet, then it goes into the oven with the meat. So then you've got an app that tells you what the temperature inside the meat is, what the temperature in the oven is, and how long it's going to take to cook at that rate. So then it's so clever. It even knows if you open the door of your oven to put the potatoes in or whatever, you know how we're always opening the door and then obviously our oven temperature drops, it senses that the oven's dropped, so then it adds a couple of minutes to the cook time because it knows, okay, well, her 180 degree oven's now gone down to 150. This is going to take me a little bit of time to get back up to that and all that. So it's very clever. It's like a smart, it makes your oven into a smart oven almost. Like it's really clever. And why we like using this with the Thermomix is you can also, if you were like steaming chicken or something in the Varoma on your Thermomix, you could actually pop it into the chicken as well. And that's a big one for me because I tend to overcook chicken because I'm worried that it's not cooked. So knowing that it's up to temperature inside the chicken puts your mind at ease and you know, yep, it is cooked. And it's beautiful because you're not going to overcook it as well. What's happening in the chat, Shane? Ah, right. Excellent, Melinda. I'll have to try that. Shane, would you like to say hello to the girls? This is a new feature. No. Oh, Shane. We've got a Shane cam now. Oh, Shane, are you serious? Oh, no, it's not working. He's disabled it. Oh. I was excited. There we go. There's Shane. Hi, Shane. I've got to get him mic'd up next because you can't actually hear him talking, can you? Yes, I can. Oh, can they? Can they? Give me a thumbs up if you can hear Shane talking. Oh, they can hear you, Shane. Excellent. I won't have to repeat everything you say now. That's so good. Okay, so here's our nice hot marinade. Oh, and that chili's got a bit of a bite in it. I'm going to put some into a bowl to marinate our pork with, and then it says 100 grams, but I'm not going to weigh it. I'm just going to evenly sort of do half and half, and then just leave the rest in the bowl for your for what you're going to do next. But what we're going to do is we're going to just give this pork a quick marinade, and it's not. You probably could, if you wanted to, you could do this step the night before and actually marinate this properly overnight if you wanted. But the recipe doesn't even tell you to do that. So give it a good coating in this marinade. Have you got me back? Oh, yeah, good job. So I've just got this sitting on the oven Thermomix mat, which you can get from the mix shop as well. So it's really good to use instead of baking paper when you're using your oven trays, which are also from the mix shop, I might add, the rose gold oven tray. Okay, so there we go. I've given him a good coat of, you could obviously, if you're trying to feed a lot more people, you could obviously double or triple this recipe. If you needed to do 3 pork fillets, if you really wanted to make a really big one, you could definitely do more as well. Now, the little bit of marinade that's left there, I am going to set that aside. Make sure you keep it separate from the one you're going to use as your salad dressing. I'm going to set it aside and we're going to baste this as we go. But just before we do that, I'm going to show you how we're going to put the meter in this. So, maybe go to my overhead cam, please, Shane. So I've got my meter app on my iPad. Tanya's saying she can't get in, Shane. In other news.
Tanya hasn't tried it yet.
Oh, there you go. I've just lost my meter app. Where is it? Oh, there it is. Okay, so we've got our app. There we go. So it just looks like this. You open up the app, you grab your meter. Where am I? There. Oh. Grab your meter out. And it connects with your app. Why isn't it connecting with my app, Shane? Oh, there we go. Okay, so it takes a second to connect to your app, but it knows, okay, she's taken it out of the case, she must be going to use it, and you just hit tap to set up cook. You choose what you're gonna cook. So you just go pork, tenderloin, I want it medium well, no, I want it medium well, and start cook, okay? It then gives you a little diagram of how to put it into, it says, okay, well, if you've got a pork fillet, this is how you would do it. It's very simple with a pork fillet, just into the meatiest end, like that. You want it all the way in as well. And then you just go start cook. Okay? And there we go. So it then says, radio, internally it's 19 degrees. We want it to be 66 degrees, and at the moment it's 33 degrees. Obviously it's not in the oven yet, so that's what it's reading at the moment. So I'm going to pop that in the oven, and we'll come back to that in a minute. There we go. We'll just pop this down here. So you literally then, you could leave the house if you wanted to. You could, you don't need to stand by and wait for that to tell you. Your app will then give you a little ding when it's time to get it out, and you don't have to worry about burning it, anything like that. So that's how easy that is. Okay, so it's just telling us how to do that basically now. Then, without washing the bowl, which is my favourite step of the Thermomix, we then can keep going. It tells you all the instructions of what to do with the meter and everything as well. So if it's the first time you're using the meter, there's lots of instructions in there. Okay, now we're back on to the recipe. So now we're going to make our rice salad to go with it. So we've just got some white cabbage, and like I said, I've popped it in on top of that without washing the bowl, so that the marinade's going to be in our salad as well. Some Asian greens, just the stalks of our Asian greens, not the green part of them. And we're just going to give that a chop up for 1 second. And then we're just going to have a look at that and see if we think it's seconds enough. Because sometimes, see those ones that just don't quite get there? We're going to do that again. I'm going to give it a little stir. Oh, it smells so good with that chili. And I'm just going to do that one step again. So if you ever need to do a step again, you just go back and again. Lovely. And then we're going to transfer that into the varoma and set it aside. And this is our varoma, which is our steaming attachment. And we're going to just pop it in there. So that's going to have a little light steam while we're cooking the rest of our salad, or our rice for our salad. Okay, leave a hole. Always leave a hole when you're, thanks Shane. Always leave a hole when you're steaming, so that when you've got something on the top tray, it also gets some steam. Oh, I've got some liquid coming out of my cabbage there. Let me grab that. I'm just going to set that aside over here. Talk amongst yourselves while I quickly clean up my kitchen. There we go. Rightio. And then we're going to put our simmering basket in. Where's our simmering basket? Rightio. So this is our simmering basket attachment. Now this is where we boil the best rice known to man. I've already put my rice in there. That just sits inside your Thermomix bowl. And we're basically going to do we're going to cook our rice in there. So then we're going to put 250 grams of water. Don't touch your Thermomix while you're trying to weigh something in there. I should know better than that, shouldn't I? There we go. Sorry? Oh, thanks, Shane. Next. I know what it's going to ask for. Okay, so now I don't know how much water I put in here, but I know it's about a litre. It doesn't matter. Thank you, Shane. Oh dear. Tune in next week. Shane's going to do the demonstration. He knows the recipes better than I do. Okay, do you reckon we've got a litre of water, or 900 of water? Yeah, I think we do. Rightio. Now, it's a good idea to give your rice a good wash. I'll show you a little tip. Sometimes if I'm feeling lazy and I don't wash my rice, I'll show you what I do once it starts. I'm not going to worry about the salt. Pop it in. Then we're going to place the varoma. Now, this is a really cool new update with the Thermomix. Can you go to the screen, babe? it actually, there we go. So if it comes to a step where it thinks that, oh, that might be a little bit tricky or people might not be able to understand the words of that step, it actually gives you a little video. So you can actually press play, and obviously you wouldn't need to do this every time. It would only be the first time you were doing this, but you can press play and your little video will show you what to do. So it even shows you, you cut out a piece of baking paper, you wet it. See, isn't that cool? Like, and I know you wouldn't want to stop and watch this every time. You can easily just click past it, but if you think, what do they mean, scrunch a piece of baking paper and put it on the top, like, what does that mean? Obviously that's what it means, but you can watch your little video. And there are quite a few of those little videos all scattered through all different recipes now on your TM6 as well. So we'll just go across to that. We'll go, yes, we've done that. Now we're going to put our eggs on this. So we're going to get our Varoma back and we're going to just put our 2 eggs that are beaten onto our wet baking paper. So that's going to sort of make like an omelette-y sort of thing that we're going to put in our salad. Okay, and then we're going to pop it all together. So we've got our water and our rice is going to be steaming. We're going to put our lid on. We're going to put our Varoma on there, which has got our Asian greens and our cabbage, our egg omelette on top, and our lid. All right, and we're just going to press start on that, and it's going to cook for 13 minutes on Varoma. So at this stage, you've got 2 smart things working for you. This is going to not burn anything. This will tell you in 13 minutes when you're ready to come back to your Thermomix. And your meter, go back to what's happening with your meter, is saying now internally it's 28. We're still trying to get to 66, but the oven's 159 degrees. So my oven's a little bit cold. So I'm just going to turn it up a little bit. But so it's saying, you know, we've got approximately 16 minutes. I was thinking it was 19, but it's 16 minutes left. So, but it changes all the time depending on how hot and how quickly it's heating up and all that. So, you know, you would be safe to be able to duck out and do something for 10 minutes whilst your meter's cooking your meat and your Thermomix is boiling your rice and stuff for you. Let me tell you a little bit about the cookie dough side of things, because I did mention that and I said I'd come back to that. So basically, cookie dough is your one-stop shop for all your Thermomix recipes. So it is our online, it's basically like our Netflix for recipes. So you do get a subscription to the cookie dough when you buy your TM6, and then once your free subscription runs out, it is $49 a year for all the recipes that have been made for the TM6. So it is it's a bargain, and it's really user-friendly. If you want to go to the next one, thanks Shane. You can search and get ideas on what you're going to cook. So lots of people I speak to, that's their main bugbear is, just when you ask the family what they want to eat and no one will tell you what they want to eat, and it's, you know, it's too hard, you know. So there's so many options on the cookie dough. You can search in cookie dough by an ingredient that you might have in the fridge. You can go into categories, so you know you might want to be doing low carb or you know, vegetarian or something like that. That we've got lots of different collections. So the ones across there are just the latest 4 that have been added, or the most popular 4 that at the moment. And you can, you know, search by lots of different things to get ideas. Then probably the best thing about cookie dough is the meal plan and the shopping list. So then you can make a meal plan and make a shopping list for it, and you can either then do your shopping yourself. It gives you your shopping list in a really nice orderly fashion of how to get it from the shops, or it will actually go, it will link to Woolworths online, and you can do online shopping with everything that you need from your cookie dough. We also now have an app for cookie dough, so even if you were really unprepared and you were actually in Woolworths, you were trying to figure out what you were going to make for tea that night, you could actually go to your app and find your ingredients and everything while you're walking around Woolworths as well, which sometimes is is what ends up happening for me. But yeah, cookiedo.com.au is your place to start. If you're looking at the Thermomix, go to cookiedo.com.au and sign up for your 30-day free trial. And that actually gives you a good idea of, you know, what things you're going to make when you do get your Thermomix as well. You can start a meal plan and everything before your Thermomix even arrives. So, yeah. Chat box, Shane. A lot of these functions are new with the TM6. So we've got obviously our scales and our dough mode and our turbo. They pretty much are self-explanatory, making dough, blitzing things. We've got pre-clean now, which is really handy for if you've made something and there's something stuck on the bottom of your bowl. Obviously we've got blend. The egg boil mode, I know it sounds so basic, but it's so good to be able to just chuck your eggs in, choose how you want them cooked, and forget about it. We've got kettle, which, you know, you can boil your water for your tea or your coffee. A good thing about the kettle mode is that you can choose like just off boiling. So you can choose to get your water to like 95 degrees if you want to just not have it boiling water. And obviously we've got our thickening mode, and then our ferment, our slow cook, and our sous vide. So they're our functions that basically take a long time. So the sous videing is cooking your meat or vegetables or eggs or whatever you're going to cook in like a cryovac bag in a bath of warm or hot water, between 40 and 50 degree water for a long time. So that's a new feature that the TM6 has as well. So we're liking that as well. Steak sous vide, I think it's about 45 degrees for 5 or 6 hours. Perfect. Delicious. Rightio. Any questions? Pop your questions in the chat box. Here's my meter, is saying 5 minutes. Now, I actually am meant to be basting this a couple of times before it finishes, so let me get that out, Shane. Do I have any other tea towels down here? Because that one's wet, and I know what happens when you... Oh, no, it's okay. Okay, here is our pork fillet. He's deserted me to go get a tea towel. Okay, and I'm just going to baste that again with some more of the... I might just put all of that on because I'm not going to remember to do it again. So this, see, getting it out of the oven, this is what the meter's really good for, because it knows how long you've taken it out for. Thanks, Tom. And there we go. Okay, so I'll show you what happens. So now it's like, what's happened to your oven? Okay, so we let it settle down now, and because it's now said that the internal is still 52 degrees, 53 now, so it didn't actually cool down inside, but the outside temperature dropped to 142, so that's going to take a little bit longer for that to cook now. As you know, inviting people to see the Thermomix, well, actually you might not know if you're new to Thermomix, but we love to give our owners freebies for introducing their friends to the Thermomix. So the great thing is January and February, the Meter Plus is actually being added to our host reward as a special just for 2 months. So if you get 2 friends along and have a demo, so you might be, your consultant might come to you, or you might invite 2 friends to come to our next online cooking experience, then you actually, just by inviting them, you get a discount of $100, I think. I would like to have my slide with those details up there, but anyway, I think it comes down to $99.99, so it is $199 full price. Comes down to $99.99 just for inviting your friends. Is that right, Shane? Yep, excellent. Yeah, and if one of your friends decides to buy, it comes all the way down to $49 for you to get yourself a meter. So that's just for January and February. So if you like the look of the meter, we can definitely arrange for you to get a discount on it. And like I said, that is the whole idea of our host rewards. We like to say thank you to our owners. There is thermoservers. Thermoservers are really handy to have when you've got a Thermomix. And you can actually get one of them for free if one of your friends buys. The oven mat that I use to put my pork on, that's actually in a bundle with a bread mat on the host reward as well. So there's no limit of how many of these you can collect either. So we want you to all get them all for free, obviously. But yeah, we love giving you little thank yous for helping us as well. So speak to your consultant about that. Think of 2 friends who you think you might like to share the Thermomix love with, and talk to your consultant. Rightio, we've got 22 seconds to go here, Shane. And I think our omelette, this is what happened last time I made this. The omelette needed a little bit more time because it was a little bit runny. But we will get started on putting it all together. And how's my pork's got 2 minutes to go. We've only got 5 degrees to go. So we're good. Rightio. Don't want to wet another tea towel here. Rightio. A good little tip when you're getting your varoma off, obviously open it away from yourself and then just slip your lid under your tray, and then that will mean that if stuff does drip down, it won't spill all over yourself either. Now look, we've got another video here of how to do this, but I'll just show you how to do this rather than watch the video. If you pop your hook of your hook, see there's a little hook there, just there. You can just hook your basket out like that, and that's how you get your simmering basket out of there. Okay, so transfer cooked vegetables over the rice. Yes, we'll do that. Drain the liquid. What we're going to do is we're just going to go, I'm just going to take that one out. I am going to put my drained vegetables, I'm going to put that like that. You can even open that like that as well. I'm going to put I forgot to show you how to wash the rice too when I was going then. So what I'd usually do when like I said, when I'm lazy and I haven't washed my rice, is when it starts, just turn your Thermomix up to like speed 8, and the water will go really quickly and it will wash through your rice. So I should have done that, but it's still perfect anyway, so it's all good. Give that a little. Oh, and the meat's ready, Shane's telling me. Righto. See, it all happens at the same time. Rightio, so I'm going to put my veggies in there. Now, just while I'm doing my meat, I'm just going to pop that. See how the eggs, you might not be able to see, but it's just a little bit runny on the edges. So I'm just going to, oh, it's not even runny enough to fall off, but I'm just going to give it a little bit extra time as well. Okay, so I'm just going to go back and go back to that varoma temperature. The water's already boiling, so I'm just going to let that have a little bit of time there. Now let me get my meat out, because actually my meat's going to rest. So I'll grab my meat out and then I'll let it rest, and we might just there's quite a lot of fumes in the chili of that marinade. Okay, so there's our pork fillet. How good does that look? I'm just going to take it off that plastic. Tongs. Okay, I'm just going to let my pork fillet rest there for a minute. I'm going to just give it a little bit of the juice, and then I'll sit that over here. And I've just realised, Shane, I haven't done the payment options. So while that rests and my egg cooks for a little bit longer, I'll do the payment options, and then we'll come back to the plate it all up, because then we're finished. Oh, excellent. So how do you get a Thermomix? Well, the best way to get a Thermomix is come and join our team. So like I said to you earlier in the presentation, we are Team ThermoFan. So if you are joining us from the North Coast area, you could join our team Thermo fans. But if you're watching or you're joining from somewhere else in Australia, we can also help you find as equally as lovely team. We've got one-off payments. You can do PayPal, credit card, or direct deposit, 2269. If you'd like to chunk it down a little bit, we can do the 24 months interest-free through Zip Money, and that's the price that I quoted before, the $23.69 a week, which if you speak to your Thermomix consultant, there's no one that can't save $23.69 a week by having a Thermomix. So if that's something that interests you, chat to your consultant about how you're going to save $24 a week when you get your Thermomix as well to fit it into your budget. The Easy 3 is another payment option to chunk it down into more manageable bites as well. So you pay $919 when you put your Thermomix on order, and it comes within about 10 business days, and then 30 days later you pay your $700, and then another 30 days you pay your another $700, and chunk it down that way. So that's how you get a Thermomix. If you want to speak about specifics of that, just reach out to your consultant. They'll be able to help you figure out which payment option suits you the best. And if you've got questions, obviously you can pop them in the chat. Rightio, Shane, I think we're good. Have we got any questions in the chat before I chop up my pork here? No? Oh, Janelle, if you were closer, I'd drop you over some, but you know, it's a bit far. Okay, so have a look at this pork. Oh, so this is a I think a cut of meat that people do tend to overcook, because even like the end bits are just cooked perfectly, but obviously it gets a lot thicker at the end. So where the meter was, I'm gonna get the meter out, Shane. Just a tip, if you do have your meter, make sure you don't grab it with your fingers. I've grabbed it before. It's obviously a piece of metal that's been in the oven, and it does stay quite hot, so make sure you use your tea towel. I've done that a couple of times, haven't I, Shane? There we go. So look, you can see that this is cooked, like I've said, medium to well. So we don't have any red or, you know, anything that's too red. But look, that's the thickest part, and you can see how nicely that's cooked. Can you see that, Shane? Take my word for it. It's cooked to perfection, guys. Okay, so I'm just going to let that sit there for a minute, and then probably the best way to present this, I usually stir all this through first. So I'm just going to, that's plenty of time for the egg. Oh, look at the egg now. That's how it's meant to be. That's nice and cooked now. You want to just stir all this through, and you could serve it and have the meat on the side of the salad, or you could just have the meat throughout the salad. I like to just have it all stirred in together. I'm just chopping up the omelette to go in. And then we've got some fresh ingredients that go in there as well, so they're just here. So we've just got the green sections of the, can you see that? Yep. The green sections of the bok choy, some bean sprouts, and some capsicum. And then you want to just give that a really good stir through. And if, not to pick something that I've done wrong here, but if you're making this at home, stir this through while the rice is still like steaming hot, because it then just wilts that green a little bit more. See how my green's not quite wilting as much as it, well, it doesn't really matter. It probably looks nicer if you don't do it while it's hot. But if you do it while it's really nice and hot, the green kind of incorporates back into it. Now, what I'm going to do with my pork, so you could just have a scoop of this on a plate and then just, you know, serve it with a little bit of pork. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to chop my pork up a little bit more, and I'm going to stir it through the whole thing. Because like I said, this is my, I'm just going to eat this for the next couple of days out of the fridge, because Shane's leaving and my kids are at my mum's, so I'm just cooking for one this week, so I don't know how I'm going to go with that. And I need to have good stuff in the fridge that's easy. So there we go. So I'm just roughly chopping that up like so. And any of this juice, see how there's like quite a lot of juice on this board? I want to get it all in there as well. Righto. Okay. Oh, and lots on the bench. Oh dear. You never said I wasn't a messy cook, did you, darling? But look, it just cleans up so easy. No washing up. Righto. So I've put my pork in there as well, and now I'm going to put my rest of my dressing. So that's and that's actually still warm as well. So you just pour that in, and then give it all a really good toss through. And it's as easy as that. Cooked to perfection. Am I allowed to say that about my own cooking, Shay? It was all because of the meter and the Thermomix. Look at that. How good does that look? It's so fresh and bright and just delicious. So, and this is a big, can you see, can you do the front camera, Shay? You can see that's like the largest Tupperware bowl. So I don't know, sometimes they say how many litres, but that is like a lot of salad that you can make. And like I said, if you needed it to go even further, you could definitely do 2 pork fillets if you wanted more meat in there as well. So thank you so much for being here with us. If you've got any questions, you're welcome to stay on if anyone wants to stay on and ask anything. But I think other than that, we're done. We've made our salad, we've used our meter. Any questions about the meter, just yell out. We have been using the meter for quite a while now, so we should be able to help if there's any questions with the meter as well. But thanks so much for being here, guys, and I'll see you next time.